and it was pretty horrific. I probably should have started with the wetsuit, but good way to start the day, wakes you up.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tom Sits Into Conversation With. This week on the podcast I have Megan. I am currently on a little dog walk with my fiancée Joy and my dog Mocha. This is the last episode of the current season of the podcast. It's a little 4-part that was sponsored by One of the Gang, and here is a little word about our sponsor for this episode. This episode is sponsored by One of the Gang, obsessed with crafts, inspired by fashion and powered by makers, selling DIY kits, premium sustainable yarn. Whether you're a novice knitter or a maverick maker, One of the Gang have got a project for you. Head on over to oneofthegang.com for more information and stick around to the end of the episode to get 20% discount. Thank you very much, One of the Gang, for sponsoring, and back to the episode. Thank you very much, One of the Gang, for sponsoring this episode. There'll be a little bit more information at the end of the episode where you'll find a 20% discount code. So make sure you watch until the end. Also, if you can make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, all of that cool stuff, it really helps the podcast grow. I think it fairly recently rained just before we went on the walk, and there's quite a lot of drops dripping down, which is great. I don't think it's raining now, but it feels like it is. Yeah, so Megan is someone who I've kind of wanted to chat to for a little while. She's a very talented kind of knitter and crocheter here in the UK. And she's been able to turn this hobby of crafting into her actual full-time work, which is kind of the dream for a lot of us, which is really cool. And it was really interesting getting to know her story and like her process as well. In the episode, we talk a little bit about a market that I was meant to do, which actually got cancelled because we had a massive heat wave in the UK. I am going to be at a market at Stoneleigh Park. It's like a dog show, and I think it's going to be really fun. I've got one of my friends from work to give me a hand. So if you're listening to this and you want to go to a dog show, it's on the bank holiday Sunday. I'll have links into the description so you can come and get tickets. I think they're like £10, parking's free, and there's going to be loads of cool things for you to do with your dog. Quite family friendly as well. I think kids might be free, but you'll have to double check on the website. But yeah, if you're free on the Sunday this comes out, then come and say hi. It'd be really cool. I will be back at the end of the episode with a little bit more chat about today's sponsor, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And I'll step into the conversation and get to know Megan.
I love it too much to leave. I started knitting in lockdown, in the first lockdown, and I am now doing it full time, which is really cool, really fun. I've been doing that for like 3 months. Before that I was working in a pub, and before that I was studying photography at University of Brighton. I graduated a year ago, so yeah, I've been out of uni for a year, and just full-time knitting now, which is That's my dream.
Awesome that you can like kind of make it full-time. So what does that entail? Because I think for a lot of us knitters and crafters, that is kind of the dream of becoming a full-time crafter.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. I do find it hard to kind of find the like line between hobby and job now that I'm doing it as like a full-time job. So yeah. I do try to be more boundaried with like setting myself work hours. I also have been really enjoying writing patterns recently. So I've been focusing quite a lot on writing patterns, doing pattern tests and stuff, because I find that can be quite a good income as well as taking commissions. At the moment, that's maybe like half of my income, which is nice because once you've done the initial work of writing the pattern, having it tested, etc., it's just money coming in each week. So yeah, I think that's been a really good way of like topping up my income, basically.
Yeah, it's a little bit more consistent as well. Like if you were to like go on holiday or have a little bit of time off, or you have other projects, then it's something that's like a passive income. I hate that term, but yeah, it is something that's kind of like just there that people can do. So can you tell me a bit about your writing process?
I don't think I go about it in like a super consistent way. Like it kind of changes with each pattern. I personally don't write my patterns in like the classic knitting or crochet terms. Like I kind of write it as, English sentences, just because when I buy a pattern, I find it easier to follow if it's kind of written in paragraphs rather than like all the abbreviations. I find that a bit overwhelming. So I kind of just, my favorite kind of pattern to write is like a customizable pattern in terms of I don't write specific sizes. It's made to measure. So like literally anyone and everyone can enjoy it. And I prefer that because like, I could write a size 12, but two different people that are size 12 could have very different bodies. So I find it can be, I just find it an easier way of writing for different sizes. So yeah, usually a pattern takes me maybe like a week to write on and off.
Wow. So is that like you just kind of like creating a pattern in your head and writing it up, or are you knitting it up as well? And then like, does it take you a week to like knit up a pattern and write it at the same time?
So I'll usually knit or crochet it first. I often don't like make something with the intention of like, oh, I'm going to write a pattern for this. But like, I might make something and be like, oh, I could actually quite easily translate this into a pattern. So usually I'll make like one or two different sizes of something and work out if it is something that can be like sized up or down, and then sit down and write a pattern. But
that's really
I mean,
cool.
It's very inconsistent. I definitely don't have like a formula of how I write my patterns. It kind of changes with each one.
I guess, I mean, that might just be your writing style, but I think it's really important nowadays. I think there's a lot more like designers and stuff that are trying to make everything a bit more size inclusive, which is one of the reasons why I struggle kind of getting my head around trying to write a pattern, because I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing for starters, and then trying to like do the maths, I don't know, I think it like just blows my brain a bit too much. So
it's hard. I mean, you knit, right?
I do, yeah.
I do find knitting pattern. I mean, I've only written one knitting pattern, the rest are crochet, because I find knitting, I mean, there's obviously maths involved with crochet as well, but I find with knitting it's so mathematical, and it can be really hard to like grade it up or down for different sizes. So
so do you predominantly crochet, or are you a bit of a both, or
I do both, but in terms of pattern writing I mainly do crochet. But I kind of go through phases of like I'll have a few weeks of preparing knitting and don't do so much crochet, and then I'll get bored of that and like crochet for a few weeks. But I love both equally, just depends what kind of mood I'm in. I mean, crochet works up a lot quicker, so
I mean, that's kind of cool that you've got the freedom to like switch between the two. Like I've tried crochet and it just, I think if I had someone showing me, I might pick it up a bit better. But for now, like again, as well, because I'm just like knitting like myself really. So it's kind of like just in the evening or in the morning before I go to work and stuff. So nice.
They are like surprisingly different. Like I think I struggled to pick up crochet. It definitely didn't like come super easily to me. But I think as a not knitter or crocheter, they probably look quite similar, but they're surprisingly very different.
Oh, they are technically quite different. I love watching people crochet, and there's like some people who could just like look off into the distance or whatever, and they're just like bah, 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 bah. And it's like, how on earth do you do that? Like I can understand with knitting because you like they clink, but the fact that they can like just, I don't understand like how people can crochet so fast. Like when I've had a go, I'm like concentrating so hard. So have you only just started like knitting and crocheting during lockdown, or did you learn before that?
So my mum taught me to knit when I was 7, and I got really into it when I was quite young. I used to knit a lot of like toys, and then when I was like in my early teens I stopped because I didn't think it was very cool. And then the Christmas before the first lockdown, I didn't have much money because I was a student. So I was like, I'll just knit my family members' socks for Christmas. So I did that and got really back into knitting. And then, when we went into the first lockdown, I taught myself to crochet from YouTube. My granny used to crochet, and I always thought it looked really cool, but she never taught me. So I learned through YouTube for that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So And now you're able to like just turn it into a full-time job as well. So are you?
Yeah.
Where are you? So you're living in Brighton, which is like one of our favorite places to visit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like we try and go down at least once a year.
Oh, nice.
Like
Okay.
it's just coffee scene, the food scene, the
Yeah. Yeah.
weather,
Yeah.
the whole vibe. Like if it wasn't so expensive to live down there, I think we would both like we would want to move.
Yeah.
Because everything's like dog friendly pretty much as well. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a really great city. I have tried to move out once, and I came back. I couldn't leave.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, if you're living there, it's yeah. I don't think you would really want to move away too much.
No, it's great. Nice being by the sea as well.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like when we've stayed there, and then we kind of like we walk into the city centre, and then you've just got the kind of lanes, and you can just see the sea as you're walking down, or just walking along the like seaside. It's just
Yeah.
so nice.
Yeah. No, it's lovely.
Yeah, nice. So what was the kind of first project that you did with like something with one of the gang?
So the first wool I ever bought from them was the Crazy Sexy wool. And I got it in shade emerald green, which is my favorite green. It's a really nice, like bright kind of jewelry color. And I made a like round neck, just plain jumper. And it's actually probably one of my most worn knits. Like it's the warmest thing ever. And in winter, like I don't even have to wear a coat over it because it's so warm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely made me fall in love with their wool for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think the Crazy Sexy Wool was like the first yarn that I got from them as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I think when I started learning, I kind of learned from YouTube. My mum's told me that she taught me a little bit when I was younger, but I don't have any memories of that at all.
Really?
So I kind of like properly like picked it up like a few years before lockdown, and I think I watched like videos from one of the gang because their videos are like nice and simple, and like I wanted to use like a big chunky wool because I thought that would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
And
Do you still use their Crazy Sexy wool?
Still use it quite a bit. Like yeah, I think I've tried some of the other yarns. I've tried the Appuccino Merino.
Okay.
But Crazy Sexy Wool is like the first one I got, and it's like my favorite.
Yeah, I think it's their most like famous.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of like
I feel like that was one of the ones that was like probably because it's in a lot of the videos as well. Like that's probably one of the most iconic yarns that they have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but the range has definitely got like massive in the past couple of years of like what they're doing now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What other kind of yarns and stuff do you like to use?
I do love cotton. That's probably my favorite. I find it's quite versatile, and like when I crochet, I like to crochet like bags and hats, which cotton is really good for because it's quite sturdy.
It's a bit more durable, isn't it? So
yeah, and it's nice to work with. I do, I mean, like I said, ironically, I'm vegan, but I do kind of like any animal fiber. Like I love mohair, wool. Yeah.
I think it depends on the company. I think if they're kind of being a bit more ethical about how they get the yarn and stuff, or how they get the fibers, then. But I can understand some people not wanting to use certain products. But I mean, they have such a range that like the kind of cotton, the shiny happy cotton, and I think they they have like a lot of like non kind of animal based as well. Which is cool.
Yeah, I really like their raffia yarn as well. That's really nice to make bags with.
Yeah, I think I've got my partner bought me like a selection bag with a few patterns and a few different samples of yarn, but
oh, nice.
I haven't really had much of a go with them yet because I think some of them you need like 2 reels, so I haven't. I haven't started it. Otherwise, I'll just have like half a hat or something, whatever of the kit is. But yeah. So what else? Do you have any other hobbies than kind of knitting? Do you, or because it's kind of like your full-time thing? Is it?
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, I don't know if it's a hobby, but I have started sea swimming in the mornings.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I literally live like a 30-second walk from the beach, which is really nice. And yeah, I mean, I've got a bit lax with it recently, but for a few weeks I was going in every morning at like 7:30, which was really nice.
Wow, nice. Are
Good
you
way
wearing
to
a
start the
wetsuit
day.
or are you like?
No, I started just straight in with my swimming costume. I think I started it like at the end of March, and it was pretty horrific. I
Yeah, I
probably
can
should have
imagine.
started with a wetsuit, but good way to start the day. Wakes you
Yeah,
up.
yeah, I can
Um,
imagine. Do you just like kind of swim along the coast, or like how long is the swim for?
oh, not long. I mean, I'm not the strongest swimmer. Kind of just
Okay,
like doggy paddle out a
yeah,
little bit and then come back in.
just kind of dunk in and then kind of get back out almost.
Yeah,
That is
bit of a
cool.
phony.
Yeah,
But
the
yeah,
perks of living by the coast.
yeah, it's lovely. But yeah,
Nice.
other than that, I can't really. I mean, I binge watch a lot of like shitty reality TV. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
a hobby, but
Well, I guess do you kind of like watch or listen to stuff while you're working, like while you're creating? Kind of
yeah. Oh
what
my
kind of
god, yeah.
what kind of stuff do you prefer watching or listening?
I try to listen, but I definitely prefer watching.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's just a lot of reality TV. I'm obsessed with Come Dine with Me. Um,
Yeah, Come
in the
Down with me, it's
day,
classic.
yeah. Um, did just binge watch the new season of the Kardashians, which
I haven't started with that.
I was ashamed of myself for doing it, but
It's
need
one of
some.
those kind of like shows that like I don't know if you enjoy it then go for it.
Yeah, I just kind of when I'm knitting or crocheting because I'm like I can't super concentrate on like yeah difficult storylines or anything. I enjoy kind of just putting on something that I can zone out a bit too. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, if you concentrate
yeah,
and you don't want to have like a really complicated plot because you're gonna
yeah,
miss out whatever's going on.
yeah. I definitely feel like I lose brain cells though while watching these programs.
Do you kind of listen to like other podcasts or do you listen to music or anything while you're kind of creating or?
Yeah, I do. I do try and listen to music and podcasts or like audiobooks as well, just to
Mhm.
cut down the amount of stuff I watch. Um, yeah, I've been listening to a good podcast about it's these two friends and they just analyze like 90s and noughties kind of like iconic films like Clueless and stuff,
Nice.
which I've been enjoying. And then yeah, try and listen to audiobooks as well. But I've just got, I mean, even though I'm like knitting or crocheting while I'm doing it, I just have such a short attention span. So like
Hmm.
I do find watching stuff just like keeps me entertained a bit longer, which
Yeah.
isn't great, but yeah.
Well, I mean, you are working and you are creating, so I think
Yeah,
it's you can kind of let yourself off there.
semi justified.
Yeah. So, what's your kind of like working schedule like? Have you put a schedule in, or do you just kind of like, yeah? How have you kind of worked that out?
I try to, so my boyfriend, I live with my boyfriend and he leaves the house at like 10 in the mornings and gets back at like 6:30. So I try to just like work within those hours.
Hmm.
Um, try to do like Monday to Friday, but to be honest, like being self-employed means that like if I've got a friend coming down on a Wednesday or something, I'll go do that. So I'm not super strict with like what days I work, but
Yeah.
I do try and like cut off in the evenings from 6:30ish. I also try to do the same with Instagram, not reply to like messages on my business Instagram past 6:30, 7, just because I feel like I need to like shut off at some point.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense.
yeah, so I mean, I say this, it's definitely not like I haven't super put it into practice yet. I do need to get better, but I think that'll
Yeah.
just come with time. It's still quite new, so
Yeah, I guess if you're at the kind of beginning stages of like starting your own business, which is essentially what you're doing, then it's hard not to be all in all the time. I think
yeah,
the fact that you've got like I think the fact that your partner is able to go off to work and then come back, that I guess that would help having that little
yeah,
separation. Like
yeah,
you're back, this is time for us.
chilling, yeah,
Yeah. Are you able to
yeah.
have like are you able to kind of just knit for yourself or does it kind of like has it changed your well sorry not just knitting but crochet but has it kind of changed your like oh, I've picked up a project and then do you start thinking about just enjoying it or does it like turn into work?
No, not at all. I'm like I mean, even though I've been doing it pretty solidly for 2 years now, just over 2 years, I still like get so much enjoyment from it.
That's cool.
I think that's one of the reasons that it's been kind of hard to like put boundaries in place, because I enjoy it because I enjoy doing it so much.
Yeah.
It's not really felt like work, which is really nice. So I definitely still get a lot of enjoyment from it, and yeah, definitely make myself way too much stuff. Yeah, no, I do still do a lot of personal knitting and crocheting.
That's cool.
But yeah, I don't. To be honest, I don't feel like I'll ever get bored of doing it. Like I love it.
That's cool. That's good to hear that you still enjoy it. And I know you're kind of at the beginning stages, but I think the beginning stages are probably like the most stressful.
Yeah.
No,
There's a lot of stress that goes along with it as well, but the actual making side of it is lovely.
Do you just kind of like do stuff online? Like, do you sell it online through like Etsy and stuff, or do you do any markets in real life kind of selling as well?
I haven't yet. At the moment, I take commissions through Instagram, and I've been saying this for ages, but I'm trying to build myself a website. But I'm a bit of a technophobe, so it's taking a while. But no, I haven't done any markets yet. I really want to. It's never something that I've had a few opportunities in the last few years, but I've never had enough like stock ready to go.
Yeah.
But I think this year, maybe like around Christmas, I'm going to try do some. Because I've actually got a good amount of stock now. That'd
be really cool.
But yeah,
I quite like doing markets because I really like the interaction, because I work in hospitality.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I kind of I like having that interaction and talking to people.
Yeah.
I'm booked on for one this Saturday.
Nice.
But I've got to work, unfortunately. So my partner's going to be doing it. So it's going to be fun. Like, I've been crafting a lot of stuff like so much lately to try and get enough stock ready, but it's kind of like frustrating that I can't be there and talk to people.
Yeah. But that's a shame.
Hopefully, like some people will like message out on Instagram and stuff, and
I'm sure. Yeah.
Hopefully, I can sell some bits.
It's always nice for people to be actually to be able to like feel it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there's only so much that you can tell from a photo, but I think to actually be able to like pick it up and feel it is really nice.
I think
market's
so too.
A good way of doing of selling.
Yeah, it is. Cool. Is there any kind of shout outs or anything that you want to do?
So my Instagram and TikTok are Megan Faith Makes, as is my Etsy, where I sell patterns. I've got a new pattern coming out this Thursday, which is a kind of 2-piece crocheted 60s inspired skirt and top set. Wow, that was wordy. I think those are kind of all my channels at the moment. Hopefully a website is coming soon. But yeah.
Awesome. If you were a Wool on the Gang yarn, what would you be and why?
So I chose the shiny happy cotton because I'm happy and vegan.
There we go. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching this episode of the podcast. Thank you very much for Megan for talking to me. It was really awesome getting to know you, and I hope that you've all enjoyed. Thank you again for Wool on the Gang for sponsoring this episode. Here is a little bit more about the sponsor. Thank you again, Wool on the Gang, for sponsoring this episode. Join the Makers Revolution and get 20% off with my code KNITSIPS20. 20% off, excluding the usual kits, bundles, and gift cards. This code applies to new customers and existing customers already. For full terms and conditions, go and check out the description down below. Thank you again for Wool on the Gang for sponsoring this episode. Please remember to like, subscribe, follow, and all of that cool stuff. It really helps. If you're listening to these podcasts, then and you want to see a little bit more, go and check out my YouTube because I have clips and the full length videos as well. It's been really fun doing these podcast episodes again, getting to know people and chatting to people as well. And it's kind of sparked me wanting to get to know more people and kind of getting back in touch with some of the people I had in previous episodes. So I'm currently in contact with some of the people who have been on the podcast before. I've already recorded 2 episodes which will come out sometime in the next few weeks. So make sure you follow on my Instagram or YouTube if you want to see updates about that. But I've had 2 really good conversations with previous guests. It's really nice to have a good catch up because it's been over a year since we did the podcast for the first season. So again, I hope that you've all enjoyed this season of the podcast, and if this was your first one, then please go check out the rest of the episodes. I have season 1, 2, and this is the end of season 3. You can watch it on YouTube, Instagram, and then I've also got the full audio versions on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Acast as well. So make sure you go and check out all my guests as well that I've had on the podcast, and I will see you again soon. I've got some video ideas that I'm looking forward to filming and getting out there, and looking forward to doing the next season of the podcast. Thank you very much, everyone, and stay crafty.